This just got real.
Calls flying from Lake Forest to league offices, boards being shuffled, and a window that looked like a rumor yesterday is turning into a decision point right now. If you care about what January football feels like in Chicago cold, loud, unforgiving lock-in, because the next move in the backfield could flip our ceiling, here's my promise to you. I'm going to lay out the full picture timeline. What the tape says, cap math that actually works. The culture fit, the risk, and how this changes the way defenses are allowed to play our quarterback. No spoilers yet. First, we build the case. Then we talk names. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report. Hit subscribe. Tap the bell. Drop a like so this reaches more Chicago diehards before the takes get lazy. You want clear eyes and real football talk? Your home. Start with need, not noise. Chicago's identity under this staff is simple. Violent line play, a quarterback who stresses the edges with arm talent and movement, and a defense that hunts. To make that identity travel in the wind and the cold, you need a back who forces too high safety looks on early downs and steals easy yards when boxes lighten for the pass. You need downhill credibility that shows up even when the run is called bad. Now look at the room. The names are there. The effort is there. But the consistency isn't. We've lived too many, 2nd and 9 South. Too many drives where the run call is about staying on schedule, not about punishing soft structure. When your run game is only a suggestion, defensive coordinators get brave. They mug gaps. They tee off on the kid at quarterback. Your play action loses teeth. What's missing? Explosive efficiency. A back who reads the first crease like a point guard, hits it with square pads, and turns a 5-yard play into 15 when a safety takes a false step. A back who can win from gun or under center, who doesn't need perfect angles to keep you on script, who understands pass pro well enough to keep the menu wide on 3rd down. That player changes the language of your offense. Scheme fit matters. Chicago's blend inside zone duo, some gap wants a runner with tempo, vision, and finish. You don't need a track star. You need a patient hammer with a turbo button. Add a real screen threat, and you've got the antidote to every DC who thinks he can blitz your quarterback into rookie mistakes. That's how you steal cheap explosives without asking your wideouts to win the whole game. Calendar check. The league's trade window fuels leverage. Losing teams get honest about timelines. Winning teams invest. If you want a bat to matter in December, you don't wait. You integrate. You teach the calls, the protections, the timing of the mesh. You build trust in the huddle so the QB can check into the run with conviction, and the OL fires off knowing the cut is coming behind, and culture is the filter. Hollis Hall doesn't do rentals who won't block, won't learn, or won't finish runs. This locker room has been built on guys who love the hard parts. A move only makes sense if the player amplifies that standard, not just puts up numbers. Chicago's fans can smell fake tough. So can this staff? All right, cards on the table. The news is this. The Bears are moving on a deal to bring Breece Hall from the Jets to Chicago, with real traction building and internal green lights lining up. Breece Hall to the Bears. That's the move being worked. Why him? Because Breece is exactly the archetype this offense cries out for. He's not just fast. He's economical. One cut, north-south, finish through contact, then hit the afterburner once the angle is wrong. He can live in inside zone and duo, bounce gap when the force player loses leverage, and he'll catch the screen with a runner's patience, not a receiver's panic. That keeps your QB out of obvious pass downs and makes 2-minute drives scarier. Tape says he's a tackle eraser in space and a chain mover in traffic. He forces missed tackles without dancing, and his acceleration through the second level punishes safeties who are late with their fill. On 3rd down, he's not a liability. He understands scan rules, sits under blitz, and gives you outlets that aren't just hope routes. That versatility lets your OC hold answers in his pocket all game. What does this do to the picture on Sundays? It changes how defenses allocate bodies. Early downs become honest. Linebackers trigger a half step slower because they've seen him split angles. Safeties stop cheating into robber looks because one bad fit is a 40-yard sprint. Your QB gets clearer pictures. Your play action creates bigger windows. Your boot game stops being a survival plan and becomes a choice. Now the OL. This group wants a back who trusts double teams and hits creases behind them. Breece's tempo lets your guards climb with confidence and your center play with leverage instead of chasing ghosts. It's football that ages well in December. Efficient, mean, repeatable. That's Midwest weather football, not highlight tour football.cost. You're looking at day 2 capital territory, and you can get creative with conditions, playtime, team performance, postseason benchmarks. The Jets' leverage lives in his age and production. The Bears' leverage lives in the timing and the players fit here versus there. If you believe your window is cracking open with the kid at quarterback and a defense that travels, you pay the fair price and protect yourself with structure. Contract? Running backs don't get quarterback money, but they deserve respect when they're true multipliers. Chicago can do a short to mid-bridge with rolling, guarantees and roster bonuses that reward availability and production without painting the cap into a corner. It's doable. It's smart if the staff sees him as the lift that turns our QB's good days into great ones, and our bad days into manageable. Risks exist. He had a major injury early in his career. You have to trust your medicals and your sports science. Touch management is a plan, not a hope. You don't buy a thoroughbred and run him into the ground in November. You pair him, you rotate him, you hunt matchups. The goal is January legs with October timing. Let's talk locker room. A back who finishes runs sends messages. Your defense feels it on the sideline. Your receivers block harder when the cut is coming. Your quarterback stands taller when the run game keeps second down honest. The whole building breathes differently when you can mash a 4-minute drill without praying for flags. Jets angle. Because it matters. When a team spirals early, it has to choose between clinging to names or recentering around draft assets and cap flexibility. Trading a star back is painful, but sometimes it's the move that resets multiple rooms. If their arc doesn't match his prime, a clean exit with real value is responsible team building. That's where Chicago can be the adult in the room. What if it stalls? Then you pivot fast. You don't let the room feel hung out to dry. There are veteran options and trade side doors that keep you from living in second and long. But none of those names present the blend of youth, juice, and complete 3-down value that Breece brings. That's why this specific push makes sense now. Not in March. Game flow chess with him in Chicago looks different. First quarter, settle, bleed, hit a crease. Second quarter, punish light boxes, steal a screen. Third quarter, make a safety miss. Flip the field. Make their OC call plays tight from his own 12. Fourth quarter, 4-minute drill, hat on a hat. First downs with finish. That is how you win the kinds of games this city lives for. I want to hear you, Chicago. If the price is a day 2 pick and a fair veteran contract, do you pull the trigger to give our QB a run game that travels and a defense that rests? Or do you hold the line, bet on internal growth, and keep the picks? Drop your take in the comments. This is a city that knows ball, and I'll be in there with you. My opinion. Breece Hall to the Bears makes football sense and calendar sense, and I do it at the right price. But until pen meets paper, this is a speculation, not an announcement.